Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Today we are talking about the most difficult games for the original Game Boy. Hello everyone, my name is Danny and welcome Smut Squad back to the channel. Yes, we are looking at the original Game Boy as some of the most difficult games for the console. Before we go any further, if you think I deserve it, please remember to hit that like, hype and subscribe button, as well as listen to the weekly podcast and join our free Discord. Back in then, I was merely a Zelda and Pokemon boy, so there wasn't a lot of games that I was able to play. However, as I've grown older and I've managed to do this channel, I've been playing a lot more games and found out a hidden treasure trove of difficult games. These games range in different genres, and of course there's shmup ones in there because we all know I'm terrible at shmup games. But as always, let me know in the comments whether you agree with this list, whether you think there's ones I need to talk about, or just want to talk about the memories of the games I've mentioned. Right, let's get into it, shall we? The most difficult games for the original Game Boy. Mega Man! Yes, we're starting this off with Mega Man. You can't go wrong with a Mega Man game, to be honest, and to see one on the Game Boy is really cool. Now, Mega Man games can be very difficult if you don't go into them the right way. But here, Mega Man's sprite is massive, well, compared to other games. The stages here are long and they're grueling. This is actually early in Mega Man's life, and it's only the third game of the entry when you consider the old NES ones. There are 4 Robot Masters here from the first game, and then you've got to go to Wily's Castle, but then you end up fighting 4 Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. So it kinda does feel like it's a mashup of the first 2 games. This game can be quite mean. With the stages being so long and grueling, it's not going to give you any health pickups. Well, it can, but it's very stingy with them, which is always unfair, I think, in these sort of things. As I said, it kind of feels like it's the original 2 games remixed. As I said, you've got some of the Robot Masters from the old games, including a new Mega Man killer called Anchor, and it's going to provide you with a good challenge. But I don't care how difficult this game is, it's Mega Man on the go, and that's always a win. Battletoads. Yes, I know there's the NES game, and I can easily just say that's the brutal one, but it's actually on the Game Boy, and it's not as hard. Yes, there is another Battletoads game that is actually the port of that, and that is Ragnarok's World, but we're not doing that one, because I don't want to, and Ragnarok's World probably is harder, but regardless, I don't care. Now, the screen size in this game doesn't really help, and that's what makes it quite hard. Because in some of the beat-em-up stages, the enemies can be hiding and hit you when they're out of view. I don't like it when the enemies just hide away in the corner of the screen like little bastards. Often it's when you play Streets of Rage or Golden Axe, they're hiding there and you're like, we can get you, you can't get us. Especially knife guys hate that. I know that's not in Battletoads, but I'm going on a tangent here. But going back to Battletoads, you're going to need Ultra Instinct Goku reactions to make sharp turns in the Brain Boulder stage. And not many of us have Ultra Instinct Goku level of ability. Like the NES game, Battletoads on the Game Boy has a mixture of different forms of gameplay, which include a beat-em-up, a running section, a rappelling, a jet ski, and even a shmup section. So of course I suck, because I don't like the shmup section. But it's still a good enough little game to play, and as I said, if you want the real challenge, you can go to Ragnarok's World if you want. Cosmo Tank. Guess who made this one? Atlas! Yes, Atlas! Now in this game you go to several planets and have to destroy monsters. That's pretty much it. Well, that's the plot. It's a top-down tank adventure where you just go round shooting things. But the game changes up when you find caves, and that's where the boss lives. And then goes from basically a top-down tank adventure to a first-person adventure, but like an RPG, with encounters, which is pretty cool. Here, you have to explore and eventually find the boss and destroy them and then move on to the next planet. To say that Cosmo Tank is an RPG, well, it is, because when you beat enemies, you gain experience, and that basically increases your strength and your HP, which is always handy. Now, when you're on the overworld and basically destroying all the enemies, you've got to be wary. They come from absolutely everywhere. Everywhere. It's ridiculous. And it's like, well, killed one, oh, there's another one. And to also mix up the gameplay, as I said earlier, it turns into a shmup game, which is fantastic, because I can't stand shmup games. Well, it's not I can't stand them, I'm just terrible at them. It does play very well, and I do think the first-person graphics sections look very good. Really the main difficulty this game has is, what type of game are you? Is it your top-down adventure, a first-person game, an RPG, or a shmup game? Work it out. Now, there is no difficulty scale here, so get ready to just be overwhelmed. And it's up to you which one planet you want to go. There's no easy or hard, it's just get in there, kill, and don't die. The difficulty rises with this game is when you die, because you can upgrade your shots, which makes the game a lot easier to different levels with your laser. But when you do die, you lose all of it, so that sucks and you're back to square one again, and sometimes that can be the end of your run completely. Castlevania Adventure. Yes, we all know this game was going to be on there. I'm not even going to hide that fact. I love Castlevania, I really do. But Adventure has problems. You play as Christopher Belmont, who can be shown as the slowest Belmont of all time. Like, I know, don't get me wrong, Simon in the original games is so slow, but come on, Christopher. Oh my god. Now, I know people can go, well, Castlevania isn't known for, the quick walk, and that's fine, it isn't known for the quick walk, but this guy is taking the absolute piss. And considering the levels are so long and the enemies are a lot faster than you, can you just speed it up? Just make it look like you need a poo for 5 seconds, please. It doesn't help as well, there's a button lag, which is crucial in any sort of games. Christopher himself has a terrible jumping arc as well. Shocking. And especially when you get to level 3, where there's an auto-scrolling section with spikes, and you've got to get perfect pixel jumps, and a lot of platforming, and you've got a terrible jump. Thanks. Level 3 is where really the game falls absolutely apart, and a lot of people can start throwing it out the window because it's so goddamn frustrating. Now, he doesn't have the same problem as his predecessors with stairs, but you do have ropes, which basically means as soon as you go on the ropes, you can't do anything, and you're at the whim to whatever enemy wants to attack you. Boo! And the hitboxes. Oh my god, don't start me on the hitboxes. Literally, I sometimes feel, did that stroke my penis? I don't think it shaved the penis. But all of a sudden, I've got hit, and I will keep using that reference. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. I don't know why it is. Now, look, on their own, each of these problems aren't too much of an issue. When you combine them all, it really goes in Castlevania Adventure's favour, and basically means why the game's so difficult. And the game really shouldn't be difficult because the game's just so buggy and crap in that sense. It should be difficult because it's just difficult, not because of design choices. But the game does try and give you a hand. You can upgrade your whip up to twice, and once you get to that second stage, you've got a projectile fireball, which is cool. But the moment you get hit, you lose part of your upgrades, which does suck, but I understand why, because you'd have a fire whip for the rest of the game, and you'd be pretty OP. There can be love found here in Castlevania Adventure. I think you just gotta practice with the game enough and just know you're in for a really hard time. Like, get rid of all the jank and all the problems I've mentioned, it still is a really difficult game. It's just a shame a lot of those problems are made far worse because of the stupidness I've just mentioned. Wave Race. Now, fun fact, did you know this was the first game Nintendo ever released of the Wave Race franchise? Well, I didn't at the time. Why? Because I was playing Wave Race 64, and we in PAL regions didn't get Wave Race on the Game Boy until after it came out on the N64. Why? I do not know. In this game, you face two modes, circuit and slalom. I can never pronounce that word correctly, even though I've been watching these type of sports for years. Circuit is pretty simple. You basically get as many points as you can and win the whole competition. But the whole thing with Wave Race and why it's difficult is that the steering takes practice here. There's no braking, so it's just basically go, and your other button is just a boost. And there are also pickups as well to make yourself go faster, or even try and get some of your opponent's boosts. The course will even try and screw you over. Why? Because there are whirlpools in the course. I don't know why they thought this was acceptable. Surely, if a whirlpool started appearing in any sort of race, they have to think that's a health and safety risk, possibly the competitors may die, and we really shouldn't be doing this. But hey-ho, there's a competition that needs to be finished. I still think this is a bit unfair, because the AI is going to pick up on this, and they just decide to pounce and absolutely destroy you. The AI aren't too bad in this game, but still, if you make an error, they are on you so quickly. There's also a slalom, which I probably butchered that name as well. Shut up if you haven't a go at me. It's a puzzle game, really. The aim of the game is that you've got the map on there and you've got to get to the goals as quick as you can, and 1 point per goal. And once all the goals are gone, that's it. Whoever's got the most points wins, so you've got to plan your race. And a weird one, never sort of think that with a jet ski game, but why not, it works. And the game looks okay, although, as you're probably understanding, this is all the same. Yeah, I am splicing in different tracks here, but everything just looks the same, including the jet skis. Although it's quite easy to see what you're doing in this version that I'm showing you, imagine if you were playing on the original Game Boy with that green and black, and you're basically trying to get as much light as you can at bedtime because you know Mum's going to tell you off and you're trying to play under the covers, but if she sees any light, you're absolutely screwed. No, trying to play this game in those sort of conditions, you've got no chance whatsoever. I know some of you did that, maybe not with Wave Race, but with other games you definitely did, because all our mothers and our fathers would instantly have a go at us if they saw the Game Boy or any light on at bedtime. How dare you, parents? How dare you? Qwarth. Who the hell came up with that name? Like, seriously, it sounds something like from Star Trek. Qwarth. Stupid name. Now, this is a puzzle game. And really, I'd put this as reverse Tetris. It's a shmup puzzler. Two genres I absolutely love, really. Now, in this game, you are a little ship fighting against fully formed blocks. But rather than creating rows to try and remove said blocks, you have to use your gun or your firing thing to send little squares to fill in the gaps to turn them into squares or rectangles to make them disappear. And in fairness, I like that idea. I like that idea more than Tetris. I don't like Tetris. I know some of you are be horrified by that. I just don't like Tetris. Now, this game is hard, and there aren't many levels to show for that. You do have power-ups which will make it a little bit easier, such as increasing the rate of fire, but it's still an incredibly difficult game. There are 6 different ships, but they make no real difference apart from just being cosmetic. I think the game looks great, and the music is fantastic as well because it's completely random, and when you're going to be playing this over and over again to try and finish it, having random music at different levels is awesome. It's a very good example of an easy pick up and go, where you don't need much explanation about what's going on, but good luck trying to finish it. I've had no chance finishing this. As I said, I'm crap at shmup games, I'm crap at puzzle games, and this is both. And that's it, some of the most difficult games for the original Game Boy. What do you think? Do you agree with this list? Did I get some of these wrong and the ones I didn't talk about? Let me know in the comments below. And as to the beginning, please give this a like and subscribe as we make our way to nearly 9,000 subscribers. We've also got the weekly podcast, and it should be coming out around about now, and this week we're covering Fire Emblem Awakening for the 3DS, and I'd love to join you over there. Until then, I'll see you all for another video in a few days. My name's been Danny, take care of yourself, bye bye.